Hi all, this is Emma from Plan, Inspire, Create, and I am going to talk in this video about how I get my phone to work for me and not the other way around. So I've seen a few videos over the last few months on how to get your phone to work for you and not the other way around, and I think it's an interesting concept. I used to find myself really feeling like I was being ruled by my phone, and there's just these constant distractions, constant notifications and demands on my time. And really, I am supposed to be in charge, and my phone is supposed to be a tool to help me with my everyday life. So I have been making lots of changes to how I use my phone, and I wanted to share those with you today and talk about how I am making my phone work better for me. So the first thing is definitely limiting distractions and muting notifications. That's been a huge one. I have turned off the notifications on most of my apps. I will go into the settings on my phone and to the applications, and then for each app I will click on the notifications section and I will either turn them all off or I will choose just what I want. Now, a lot of things are a duplication. For example, emails. Do you really want notifications popping up on your phone, on your computer, all over the place? Just pick one, or actually, do you need them at all? Or can you just wait until you open that application to look what's there? Do you want to do it on your time, or do you want to actually be distracted and interrupted? So I have tried to turn off as many things as possible so that when I am working on something, there are less distractions and things pinging and popping up. I also have a Fitbit that I wear that you can get notifications on. So it can notify me for calls, it can notify me for, I can either pick text messages or WhatsApp. And I used to have it all turned on. Now I only have calls on there because I rarely get calls, and sometimes I haven't necessarily got my phone in my hand and I just want to see who's ringing, whether I want to actually walk and get my phone or not. Messages I've actually turned off. I didn't need it pinging up on my phone and on my watch. And with things like WhatsApp, particularly if you're in group chats, it would often mean that it was constantly vibrating on my wrist and it was really, really distracting. So I turned those off. The other thing on the conversation or group chats is some group chats that are with a large number of people, I will mute because they will constantly be going off, and I will look at them when I can actually respond, because if I can't join in with a conversation, by the time I look at it, it's going to have moved on anyway, and I just can't have it constantly distracting me. And some people find that a little bit offensive, but it just means that I can actually get some work done. If you're like me and you do actually use your phone for work, you need as few distractions as possible, and so that's one way that I try and cut it down. The second thing is emails. Now, I was finding that I was spending a huge amount of time just deleting junk out of my inbox every day. So I've started, when things come through, to actually scroll down and unsubscribe. All emails have to have an option to unsubscribe in them now by law, and so there will be, even if it's tiny, a little link somewhere to unsubscribe, and I can do that in the time it takes me to, say, delete 1 or 2 junk emails, and then I won't ever get them again. So now I find myself rarely having to do it. Things that come to my inbox are things that I actually have to action. The other benefit of this is I spend less money because things aren't coming into my inbox tempting me to buy things. So that is a bonus. But I have unsubscribed from a lot of emails, and it just means that I have less distractions with notifications popping up, but also it takes me less time to find the things I actually need to action when I'm looking at emails on my phone. I have also uninstalled a lot of apps on my phone and only allowing the things on my phone that I actually want and will truly need to use. The next thing I've actually loved, and I didn't know if I would, and that is clearing my phone's home screen. So I used to have loads and loads of windows where I'd swipe and swipe and swipe, and there would just be apps everywhere on my home screen. Now, I can see all those apps in the app launcher, and I've categorized those, and I'll show you that in a minute. So it makes it really easy for me to find things. But when I pick up my phone, what I would find myself doing is I'd have things like the Instagram app on my homepage, and I would see it and I would forget what I picked my phone up for and think, oh, just have a little look on Instagram, particularly if I could see that there was some sort of notification there and it was meaning that I wasn't getting anything done. So now all I allow myself is 5 apps at the bottom, the things that I use very, very often. So my maps, because I use my phone for sat-nav in the car, my internet browser for quickly picking things up and Googling things, Google Keep so that I can quickly take a note if I need to so that I don't forget things, WhatsApp, because that is the thing I use the most, and my camera if I quickly want to snap something. So those are the only things that I allow on my home screen, and they are generally things that I won't get distracted by. And then I have just set it up so that I've got the time clearly, I can see where I am, I can quickly get to the weather, and I know what my next meeting is that shows on the top right. So the next kind of activity that I am diaried in to do. So there aren't lots of distractions. The information that I need is there, and the things that I need most are there. The other things are only really a swipe away, but it just means that I'm not getting distracted, forgetting what I needed to do in the first place and realising that I've spent half an hour scrolling on social media. The next thing I did was categorize my apps, and this has been a big game changer. I downloaded an app called Smart Launcher, and it essentially changes how the menus appear on your phone when you're looking at the apps. If I swipe to the right, I get all my apps, and there are these little categories at the bottom that I have set up. You can customize these however you want. These are how I've chosen to set them up. If you just want to quickly search for an app, you can click this little search button, and let's say I want Instagram. I'll press I and I'll quickly be able to find Instagram. However, the categories that I've set up, I will just take you through because this has really, really helped me be more productive. So on the far right, because it's easy for me to quickly tap my thumb there without even really looking, is my favourites. And these are the things that I reach to all the time. And these are really the key apps that help me stay productive. So if I walk you through them, I've got Notion, which I use for all of my content planning, all my planning for Plan, Inspire, Create, as well as my kind of master to-do lists and future planning. It's all in Notion, so I can easily reference all that information on the go, but I can also quickly add to that if I need to. Then I've got my camera as before, my Google Keep. Then I've got my contacts and my phone on here, so if I need to make a call, I can do that. I've got a calculator because I end up using that quite a lot. Again, my maps, my calendar and my emails. I've got the track and trace app because I need to be able to find that quickly when I'm out and about. I've got my clock because I use this for both my alarms and setting timers, whether that's timers to keep me on track with doing a task or if I need to remember to say check the dinner in 10 minutes, whatever it might be. And then, yeah, just my phone. Then I have got all my social apps in one place, the kind of social media. By having these grouped together, I can just avoid this category if I want to avoid distractions. So if I am working, I am much more likely to just go straight to the work tab, and I am not seeing all those other things that I'm going to get distracted by. However, if I have a pocket of time where I think, right, I'm going to treat myself to some social media time, I can go straight there and it's all in one place. My messaging apps, kind of social media apps, YouTube, all those kind of things, they're all grouped together. Then I have a medical tab, which has got health apps and kind of making online doctor's appointments, those kinds of things. In my spend tab, I have kind of shopping and banking and loyalty cards. So that's easy for me to find when I'm out and about in a shop if I need to. I'm going to come to productivity last. Media is really where I find files and things, but also where I can just watch other things. Then my work category are apps that really help me with my business that I can use on the go. So things like Canva for producing my graphics, Skillshare for improving my knowledge and my skills. I can check on my Etsy shop, I can work on my newsletters, I can work on social media content, look at my analytics, create short videos, all those kind of things are all in one place. So it's really easy for me to flick there, and then sometimes I'll have a momentary lapse and I'll think, what was I doing? What did I pick up my phone for? But there are much fewer apps because I've gone to the work category because I know it was a work task, and so I'm much more likely to quickly go, oh yeah, right, let's open Canva and design an Instagram story, rather than getting distracted by other things. And then in utilities, I kind of just have everything else. I will also say about the work category, it works just like the social media category in that when I am not in work, I don't go in there. So I am not tempted to do things and I can focus just on me. So I kind of have my social is like my leisure time place where I go on my phone, and the work category, if it's not work time, I shouldn't really be going in there. So you can avoid groups of apps at certain times as long as you have that kind of little bit of discipline to do that. But something that's been a game changer for me is developing this productivity category, and I've only got 5 apps in here so far, but this was designed to be a replacement for scrolling on social media. It's a category of apps that are going to help me use my leisure time or any pockets of free time more productively than just scrolling. I can spend many, many hours scrolling on social media and I enjoy it, and so I allow myself that time. However, sometimes I wish I had done something different and I find myself not quite knowing what to do, so I just go on social media. And now at those times I will go to this productive section and I have these 5 apps in there. So I have Audible and podcasts. So with Audible, I can listen to audiobooks, whether it's a story to help me relax or whether it is a non-fiction book and I can learn something. The same with podcasts. It might be purely a leisure podcast, or it might be something to challenge my thinking or learn something new. Just listening to other people's experiences and get different points of view. And sometimes these are things I can do alongside other tasks. For example, if I'm cleaning or walking the dog, then I can easily just pop these on and it's a productive use of my time. Equally, if I've just got a pocket of free time rather than scrolling, I can do something like that. I also have in here my Kindle app, so I can read Kindle books. I have Skillshare, so I can complete Skillshare classes and actually learn new things. I have really, really enjoyed being on Skillshare, and it's helped me develop a lot of skills for my business, but I also like looking at personal development things and self-care. There's so many classes on there. I do have a link in my description below and you can get your first month free. So if you want to check that out, it's not a sponsored video or anything. I would get a tiny little bit of commission if you signed up for the free month, that's all, because it's an affiliate link. Just check it out and try the free month, even if that's all you sign up to, because I've really, really enjoyed being on Skillshare and got a lot out of it. And the classes are split into little modules, so let's say you've only got 5-10 minutes, you might be able to actually watch through a module in a class and just learn something in that little pocket of time. So that's why I've put it in there. And then I've got my Headspace app. So it will encourage me to take a little bit of kind of meditation or mindfulness or breathing time for myself and just kind of release a little bit of stress and check in with how I'm feeling. The next thing I discovered was the digital well-being settings on my phone. Now, I don't know how recent this is, but if you go to the settings on your phone and scroll down, there will be a section called Digital Wellbeing and Parental Controls, it says on mine. And firstly, it tells you how much time you spend on particular apps, and this is really insightful to know where your time is going. So for me, Maps is a big one. However, WhatsApp is huge. Reddit's fairly big. And Chrome. So they're my biggest. But something that is really interesting is you can go into dashboard, you can actually set yourself timers. So when the timer runs out, that app is paused for the rest of the day. Let's say for Reddit, I allow myself 30 minutes of Reddit a day. Once that runs out, then the app is paused and it kind of limits distractions for you. Obviously, you can go in the settings and turn it off. It's not going to, block you out forever and that's it, but it's just a way of keeping a check on how long you are actually spending on things, because sometimes the time flies by before you even realize. So that is one thing that you can do. Another thing is you can set up bedtime mode. So you can set a particular time of night where you go to sleep. It can change your phone to black and white, so it kind of limits the visual stimulation that you're getting, and it can also limit notifications from apps so that you can disconnect a little bit and just start to wind down. The other thing that I find really, really useful is this focus mode. So in focus mode, if you turn that on, you can pause certain notifications at certain times. So let's say that I have my notifications turned on for WhatsApp, but I have a really important deadline to meet. I need to edit a video and I need to get it done without distractions. Then I'm going to say during focus mode, I don't want any notifications from WhatsApp. I don't want anything from Instagram. I don't want anything from Facebook. I don't even want anything from Discord. So they're my big offenders. You can either say turn it on now, or you can set a schedule. So you can say from 9 till 1 every morning, I'm going to get my head down and write my essays I need to write, or work on work reports, or whatever it might be. And it will automatically start for you because you've set that schedule. Or you can just turn it on manually. So I've turned it on now, and then I can either take a break and turn it back on, or I can turn it off when I'm finished. And so once you've set that up, you can easily turn it on and off and easily work without distractions at particular times. Now, the last thing I changed on my phone is to make sure that there's a positive message on the screen each time I pick it up. So the one I have on my screen at the moment says, "You're so amazing," and it's got this cute little cotton reel and a tape measure and these cute little buttons. And these wallpapers are actually available to my patrons in my £2 tier. So for just £2, you get a new one every month, and I illustrate them and I'll pop a couple up on the screen that we've had previously. I think this is my favourite so far. Think about how many times you reach for your phone in a day. And now every time I look at it, it gives me a little positive boost and a little kind of bit of encouragement and a reminder that I can do it when times feel a little bit stressful. So it might be that you put a relaxing image on the screen, or you put a picture of, say, your dog, or I don't know, something that makes you happy, maybe a positive quote. Try and pick something that's positive and uplifting when you look at it. And if you want to check out my wallpapers and the other awards you get in the £2 tier, I will leave the links to my Patreon in the description below. So this is how I've kind of redesigned how my phone is set out and how I use it to make sure that I can use it for productivity and use it for fun without the fun overtaking the productivity when I need to actually work. These changes have really helped me, and I hope that you found some tips that will help you too. If you like this video, please consider liking it and subscribing if you're not a subscriber already. I would love to know your tips for how you make your phone work for you and not the other way around. So let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoy my videos, my patrons get an exclusive video extra every month. So again, I'll leave the links to my Patreon in the description. And I will see you next week for another video. Bye!